Governor for Milne Bay.
Wow. About time. Got recognized. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for noticing the Governor for Milne Bay, beautiful Milne Bay. First of all, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to take this time to acknowledge our good Prime Minister in coming down to visit our province when we were through a devastation of Cyclone Nyla. On behalf of the people of Milne Bay, we'd like to thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for being there to see for yourself. And you would have been one of the first Prime Ministers to come to witness devastation in our beautiful province. And you saw the ugliness of what nature can do. And with your assistance of 5 million, it's just another speck in the ocean. Basically, you've seen how big the province is in terms of maritime. As you well know, and the country knows, that Milne Bay is the biggest maritime province. Had you given us what was rightfully ours of 42 million, we would have helped ourselves because that was rightfully our funding. But unfortunately, you added another 5 million, which is too little to spread around. Our people are still suffering as I speak today. You have not seen me last week, been here at Parliament, because I was back there to see how my people were facing their problems. I'd like to raise this question to the Minister for Fisheries, but unfortunately, I saw him a few minutes ago, but then he's disappeared. So if I could still direct that question to the Prime Minister, or if the Prime Minister is willing to. Thank you very much. Or else should I reserve or should I continue? Mr.
Honourable
Speaker.
Governor, it's at your discretion if you'd like to reserve your question to ask the Minister responsible.
No, because I may not have
Otherwise, if you want to ask the Prime Minister is the Chief Minister to all.
Then I direct it to the Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Yeah. Which was meant for the Minister for Fisheries, but then I direct it to the Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, if you could, in your wisdom, open the sea cucumber, or the BDM that we call it, to 2 or 3 months to get our people to helping themselves instead of becoming beggars in their own rich marine resource. That's one of them. The other one is, why did the Minister for Fisheries had come down and brought so-called investors into my province to start off hatcheries when they did not consider any locals? And under the pretext of coming up with hatcheries, they started going out collecting beach demare. And we have about 2 or 3 setups down there, all nothing but foreigners. And then to make it worse, Mr. Speaker and Prime Minister, they went ahead and funded them, so-called investors, in the millions. And they don't spend that kind of money to our local people in setting our own resource owners to deal with their own resource. My third question, when will NFA come down to sign the MOU that we have signed back in 2023? They come up with good promises, they start us off to keep on signing with nothing happening at the province of their commitments. But when it comes to BDM, they're the first people bringing down all the foreigners when this particular industry is supposed to remain for locals alone, with alluvial mining and BDM. But they tend to bring down foreigners to go and start taking over everything. What was restricted for us locals? If you could, Prime Minister, look into this. Those are my 3 questions to the Minister for Fisheries. And I must apologize to you, Prime Minister, for raising my voice up on this series of questions that was meant for the Fisheries Minister. Thank you, sir.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I want to thank the Governor for Milne Bay, for asking this question. You don't need to apologize for raising your voice. You have every right in this House to raise your voice for your people. So I want to say thank you for asking these questions. You've prefixed your question with the 42 million kina. I want to indicate to the people of Milne Bay that this debt owing to Milne Bay has been outstanding since 2015, when the shares in the oil palm, oil palm company, was then sold off, and IPPC, or State of Enterprises, collected its money in 2015, and nothing was passed to both Milne Bay and Oro Province, if I'm not wrong. So, but our government did pass to the Milne Bay Provincial Government and Oro Provincial Government 10 million each earlier, if not last year, then a little bit earlier than last year. That 42 million kina, as you said, is owing and outstanding. We will, once funds become available in budget, we'll try to pass on some at the earliest, and until we eventually retire the full money owing to your province. On the issue on the beach dimmer, we've issued instruction. If the scientific, from national government perspective, scientific evidence has given clearance to beach dimmer businesses or harvest to be allowed, that it must happen at the very earliest. I share your concern on local Milne Bay and local businesses participating. It is this administration's policy, Pango-led coalition's policy, that any business in the local area, in the first instance, must be picked up, or locals must participate. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I want to ask the good governor to put your question in writing to me, make a pointer to those issues you've raised on the floor of Parliament, copy the Fisheries Minister, and we will certainly attend to them. We don't want to displace locals from participating in business themselves. It's a similar vein and spirit to the issues raised by the Honourable Member for Hiri Kwari, and likewise right around. Where locals must participate in business, this Pango administration stands to support the local. They must get business in the immediate precinct. If they don't have capacity, then joint venture with other locals. If other locals don't have capacity, then joint venture with international investors. International investors must come in at certain level, and companies, whilst we have right to invest in other parts of our country, giving respect to people in the immediate locality is really in order and right. So certainly we look into what the fisheries team are doing. But commendations to also the fisheries team. Long in the past, we were not encouraging investment in the fisheries space. So they are trying to get out there to incubate investment in the fisheries space. For the first time now, crab export from Central Province is now finding its way to Singapore market. We've signed an agreement with China, for instance, now. They're ready to pick up all exports out of PNG. I want to comment one of the districts in your province, Mr. Governor, in case you're not aware, but in your own former electorate, the member for Samarai Murua is frontier leading in harvesting fisheries, not by extra fund, but because he invested the DSIP fund. In that space, they are fishing business now by a local district company. They're doing a national government complement ex gratia, kina for kina. He put 5 million kina, we complement 5 million kina, and right now locals are harvesting fish, selling to the boat, to the mother ship. Last time he took me to the ship, one red emperor, this size. I asked him how much you paid the local. They said 150 kina. Red emperor this size. I tell you, if I was in that electorate, I'll be hunting for red emperor all the time. 150 kina is half the price of security guard at Stanley Hotel, or Hilton Hotel, or Port Moresby. So the opportunities out there. Governor, your concern is worth it. This government's take back PNG philosophy is not only in mining and oil gas, but in this space. You give a letter to me. If the Fisheries Department have misfired a little bit, we realign them. So your provincial business unit, arm, or people, partner fisheries, and we go into this space. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.